Alright everyone, welcome to another episode of Franchise Spotlight. In this episode we're going to talk about On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which came out in 1969, directed by Peter R. Hunt, starring George Lazenby. This is going to be a really fast episode because the camera's about to die, so roll the intro. Alright, so this is the first Bond movie that really doesn't have Sean Connery in it, obviously. This is the 6th installment. George Lazenby was actually the youngest actor to portray James Bond. He was 29 in this film. He looks 45. It's odd, I don't know. It was also really hard for me to get behind George Lazenby as Bond. For whatever reason, I wasn't feeling him as Bond. I've seen a lot of the other ones. I've seen some Roger Moore ones. I've seen some Timothy Dalton ones, obviously the Daniel Craig ones, and I'm okay with all of them, but for whatever reason, George Lazenby just wasn't striking a chord with me. I don't know why. He also looked really tall and lanky in this compared to Sean Connery, and it felt kind of awkward. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But this movie has a really slow pacing, slower than the other movies did. And it kind of dragged down a lot for me. Like, I wasn't really feeling the Bond movie, or this Bond movie, until the third act hit, and then it just 0 to 100 real quick. But speaking on the good part about this movie is the third act. Like, the last 30 minutes of the movie, 25, 30 minutes of the movie, is when the movie, for me, really starts. There's like 2 or 3 different ski chase scenes. There is... It's not bobsledding, but it's the Cool Runnings thing, whatever that thing is called. It begins with a T. You'll see it here. But that was really cool. Blofeld was here, but it wasn't my boy Donald Pleasance for whatever reason. They decided to recast him, which I was cool with. He had more of a evil presence in the movie, which was actually a really interesting turn they took with that. This Bond movie has my favorite Bond one-liner from all the other Bonds combined. It was just hilarious to me whenever it happened. It had me cracking up.
Looks like we've hit the rush hour.
Also, this movie has one of the most emotional scenes that I've seen, and I absolutely loved it. It was at the end, kind of a spoiler alert, but it's been out since 1969, so if you haven't seen it now, then you probably don't care for spoilers. But James Bond gets married to what I feel is the real first Bond girl, because she was fighting, helping out, being on Bond's side, yada yada yada. She was the first Bond girl to me, is what it felt like. So they end up getting married at the end of the film, and Q, M, and Moneypenny have been played by the same 3 since Dr. No. So Moneypenny has always had this like relationship, like this platonic relationship with James Bond. Like, you can see that they really care for each other, but they're just friends, but like there's something between them, you just don't know what it is. Whenever James Bond gets married, there's like a shot back to Moneypenny and she's crying, but not like a happy cry, but happy for James Bond that he's finally happy, that he's finally married and gonna settle down and kind of get out of the spy life, and you can see that she's really happy about that.
On your way. Wow. Drive company.
And then 30-45 seconds later, his then wife is now shot and she's dead, and it's awful. Makes you feel real bad, you know, but you just want him to go back and kick ass because Blofeld killed her, so fuck that guy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I rated this 4.5 out of 5 stars, so it was pretty solid, even though it was slow. Like I said, for the first like hour and a half of this movie, the last 30 minutes really picked it up for me, and definitely made this movie a top tier movie for me. I wouldn't say it's in my top, or I'd say it's my top 3, probably ranking number 3. But fun fact for you guys, this is actually Christopher Nolan's favorite Bond movie, so if you care to know that, if you've seen Inception and you've seen this movie, it's kind of clear that he was imitating it and like paying homage to it. But that's it, guys, so go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and find us on Facebook at Movie Nights, and Twitter and Instagram at Nights_movie. Thank you guys, and goodbye.